Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special English, political commentating for Korean citizens living abroad. It's almost lunchtime, so before having lunch, I would like to share such a dangerous nuclear situation on the Korean peninsula. Yesterday, I personally broadcasted on the issue of increasing nuclear threat made by North Korea, and as of now, at least North Korea possesses 180 nuclear bombs, and it is expected that by the year 2030, 300 nuclear weapons will be possessed by North Korea. And one very interesting research paper by Rand Corporation in the United States, by the title of "Options for Strengthening Republic of Korea Nuclear Assurance." It was researched by Bruce Bennett, and such a famous, security scholars, co-worked by some Korean scholars. It has, several research questions, on the threatening situation, Korean nuclear questions here. Some questions are: what are the major nuclear weapon threat to Republic of Korea security, and what policy and strategy options might strengthen Republic of Korea nuclear assurance? And also, what nuclear employment planning and execution options might strengthen Republic of Korea nuclear assurance? Also, what nuclear weapon force options might strengthen Republic of Korea nuclear assurance? And how can they be designed to minimize political difficulties with the Republic of Korea and with Republic of Korean neighbors, something like that. And conclusively, in conclusion, they produced such a clear conclusions, like North Korea has been vastly increasing its nuclear weapon threat and plans to accelerate this process in the future. And North Korea has also adopted an extremely hostile campaign of threatening the Republic of Korea and the United States with nuclear attacks. China is also vastly increasing its nuclear weapon capabilities and is no longer trusted by most people in the Republic of Korea. And also, to counter this threat, the United States provides extended deterrence for the Republic of Korea and promises a nuclear umbrella to cover the Republic of Korea so that Korea does not need its own nuclear weapons. The United States wants a nuclear weapon-free Korean peninsula to avoid imperiling the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and the foundation of U.S. nuclear non-proliferation policy. The United States has constructed its nuclear umbrella on a high degree of strategic ambiguity, in the belief that this ambiguity will achieve the most effective deterrence of North Korean aggression. Also, the scholars concluded that this ambiguity, the growing North Korean threat, and U.S. withdrawal from other allied countries, for example, Afghanistan, have caused many in the Korean Peninsula, Republic of Korea, to question the existing U.S. commitment and seek more concrete assurance. And sensitive to this concern, President Joe Biden supported the Republic of Korea President Yoon Suk-yeol with the Washington Declaration in April 2023, and this report proposes options that the United States and the Republic of Korea could exercise to strengthen Korea nuclear assurance, consistent with the Washington Declaration, including enhancing strategic clarity, coercing North Korea to freeze its nuclear weapons, and committing U.S. nuclear weapons to support the Republic of Korea. So we could have some findings out of this, very important research paper. Some findings are: North Korea has a nuclear weapon force that may already pose an existential threat to Korea, and is on the verge of posing a serious threat to the United States, as well. The North hopes to use its nuclear weapon threat to help break the Republic of Korea U.S. alliance. And the other point is that China poses a very serious nuclear weapon threat to the Republic of Korea and the United States. Republic of Korea assurance in the U.S. nuclear umbrella has faltered because of this growing threat and the ambiguity in the U.S. commitment to Republic of Korea security, leading to calls for a ROK Republic of Korea development of nuclear weapons. Because of this development, the U.S. nuclear umbrella requires greater strategic clarity for both deterrence and ROK assurance. ROK is a very serious security situation, I think. The Washington Declaration promises greater strategic clarity. However, it needs greater implementation details to increase ROK nuclear assurance. The United States could pursue a strategic clarity akin to the effort taken with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization in the 1960s. It's a good example of nuclear strategy, the one in Europe. A Republic of Korea U.S. coercive campaign to freeze North Korean nuclear weapon development could strengthen Republic of Korea nuclear assurance. Also, the United States could commit U.S. nuclear weapons to establish some level of parity against the North Korean nuclear weapon threat to the Republic of Korea. Doing so might avoid a further decision by the Republic of Korea government to produce its own nuclear weapon force. Lastly, Republic of Korea nuclear weapon production could lead to international sanctions on the Republic of Korea that would seriously damage the Republic of Korean economy, also cause political controversy and instability, and increase global nuclear weapon proliferation. So the conclusion is that Republic of Korea is in a very difficult situation and is seriously considering what kind of options are best solutions to deter the growing threat from North Korea. To develop our own nuclear weapons, as this research paper analyzes, it has a lot of, very negative factors also. But one of the best, way to accurately deter North Korean threat. But it has a lot of, problems. Then, as this research paper suggests, Washington should, fill the nuclear consultative group NCD's, future structures with at least a strong commitment that out of many nuclear weapons the United States possesses, at least 100 nuclear weapons is to be used on the Korean Peninsula if a nuclear dangerous situation is developed. Anytime, as Washington Declaration committed to a full deterrence against the growing threat from North Korean nuclear weapons. So, strategic nuclear weapons, at least 100 strategic nuclear weapons to be designated by the sole purpose of supporting South Korean, security situation in case North Korea really seriously threatens, the security of the Korean people by using nuclear forces. It could be a very realistic option to make Korean people, feel a little more comfortable as far as nuclear issue is concerned. As this paper clearly, conclude, developing nuclear weapons, by our own technologies, in consultation with our allies, has such kind of negative factors to be considered and affecting the economic situation and also probably creating some conflict between our allied countries. So this kind of discussions and government and non-government levels could help to decrease the nuclear threat made by North Korea. However, we cannot ignore the growing threat on the Korean Peninsula. Also, the Chinese Communist Party is predicted, at least 1,000 nuclear weapons pretty soon. And North Korea is increasing the number of nuclear weapons. As of now, 180, but in the year 2030 to 300, and possibly in a few more years, 500 nuclear weapons. While South Korea does not have any nuclear weapons, only fully defending on United States nuclear umbrella logic, also strategic ambiguity concept. But this is time United States should make more concrete plans to make Korean people not worried about this situation, and feeling the structure of a nuclear consultative group, NCG group, content, with more realistic options, almost to a level of NATO or nuclear deterrence structures, shared by those NATO member countries. So today I am commenting on English, especially to make this kind of dangerous situation known to the Americans as our allied citizens in the United States and Europe, so that South Korea is in such a dangerous situation in terms of nuclear vulnerability, and North Korea is really doing every effort to have all the nuclear strategies increasing its nuclear weapon numbers every day. So NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty regime, cannot guarantee the security of South Koreans, 52 million South Koreans' security. So this is time for South Korea and its people here make more strong voices, for more realistic and reliable nuclear deterrence measures, and possibly was talking about if there are no assured measures to keep South Korean people safety, we can talk about sometimes developing our nuclear weapons, but with a lot of problems, negative options here, as I talk today. So today my special comment on this kind of nuclear issue is very important comment for future South Korean generation, as we are living in a divided country. This is not a normal situation if North Korea continues to increase its numbers of nuclear weapons. So I want to pay much more realistic attention, the citizens living abroad, and also the expert on the Korean issues, especially security expert, could produce more realistic research papers, to help the Korean situation, nuclear situation, to be served, with more realistic options. Thank you. Today my comment was done in English. because this is a very important issue. I want every citizens in the world to know the situation, how nuclear weapons problem on the Korean Peninsula is developing nowadays. Thank you so much.